curiosity crowd files in, many of them hoping, some of them praying that this is finally the year.
Postseason Live, presented by Fields Auto Group.
The NLDS has shifted to the West Coast. The Cubs and the Giants resume their series. The Joe Madden squad on the brink of sending the Giants home for the winter. Jake Arrieta starts for Chicago. He'll be opposed by Madison Bumgarner. First pitch rolls your way at 8:38 tonight. Hello and welcome in to Cubs Postseason Live, presented as always by the Fields Auto Group, along with Todd Hollinsworth. I'm David Kaplan. Holly, Cubbies take care of business at home. 2-0 series lead, a chance to punch their ticket to the NLCS with a win tonight in the Bay Area. What type of pressure are they facing, knowing got to put this team down now?
Well, you want to do that, but I don't think they're feeling any extra pressure. In fact, I think they're probably feeling pretty confident about their chances tonight. If I were to say to you, what is the ideal situation to go beat Madison Bumgarner during the postseason, you would tell me, well, in a 5-game series, I'd like to have a 2-game lead. Well, I mean, that's exactly what the Cubs have got. They go into tonight, they've got their guy on the mound, Jake Arrieta. And I've said this before, honestly, I'll go to war with that guy any day of the week, especially against the Madison Bumgarner. He's going to bring his A game tonight. I'd be shocked if he didn't. Number one, I think this is a great opportunity. Pressure, I don't want to call it pressure-free because there is pressure to win. You want to win. You want to get the series done and move on. But this is an ideal situation for them to do damage to Madison Bumgarner early in a ball game, to get on him and finish this thing up.
Let's talk about that matchup, the dynamic. Jake Arrieta, who a year ago won the Cy Young and now is the number 3 starter in the Cubs rotation. And that's not a shot at his abilities, more a testament to the success that John Lester and Kyle Hendricks had pitching this year against a Madison Bumgarner who is just lights out in the postseason.
Let me go ahead and make this point. Let's not forget that you also talk about Jake Arrieta being the guy who's most qualified maybe to make this start, this Game 3 start. Not that it's a knock on Kyle Hendricks, but his numbers were incredible at Wrigley Field. Jake Arrieta has been his usual unhittable self this year. He's just had moments where he has scattered it just a little bit. Now listen, there's some clear separation between Madison Bumgarner regular season and Madison Bumgarner postseason. We can sit here and talk about his dominance in the wild card game. He did it to the New York Mets. He helped get them there. In fact, that was their last win. But this is not going to be a small task. You're going to have to go to war with Madison Bumgarner. You did just see him at the beginning of September in a start. In fact, these two tangoed in that start, Jake Arrieta and Madison Bumgarner, and both pitched really, really well. So I honestly expect that, Cappy. It's going to be a great matchup tonight. I personally think that both guys may not even factor into the decision. This might be a bullpen late game decider, and we'll see. But that's kind of how I expect it to go with both these guys on the mound.
All right, almost time for you to get interactive with our show. Get your mobile, your laptop, your tablet ready. You go to csnchicago.com/vote. No special app. Just go there. In a few minutes, we will bring you our live fan vote. All right, for more on the pitching matchup, let's go out to San Francisco, where Kelly Crow is standing by with our Coors Light game report. Kelly?
Hey, Cap. Well, one of the best pitching matchups of the postseason so far, Arrieta and Bumgarner. It's one the fans have been salivating over ever since this series became what it is so far. Cubs in front, of course, 2-0. And Arrieta in a much different situation. You think about a year ago this time, outstanding in the wild card game, a complete game shutout, and then pitched 10 2/3 innings, giving up 8 runs against, of course, the Cardinals and the Mets. But tonight, he comes into this game against the Giants on 11 days rest. Whether that's good or bad, we'll see here in a bit. Of course, a guy of routine, but certainly fatigue won't be an issue. And when it comes to the wild card game and the postseason last year, he's taking that experience out to the hill with him this evening.
This time of year, you know, pretty much every game is extremely closely contested, you know, from start to finish. You rarely see any blowout games. You know, and being able to get four runs on the board early, you still want to try and tack on. So there's really, I think, a sense of urgency from the get-go to try and get things rolling in your favor and get on the board as early as possible. So I just think the games play out a little bit differently. Obviously, just the magnitude of each pitch and everything that's riding on each pitch, every inning. Is much more important, and it requires, you know, just a lot more focus, you know, to allow yourself to you know, use your abilities and not let the moment kind of dictate the way you handle it, and try and do it vice versa. Try and keep your composure and just execute pitches.
As for Bumgarner, he's being touted by some as the best pitcher ever in the postseason. A valid argument when you look at these numbers: a 1.94 career ERA in October, 23 scoreless innings in elimination games. He's certainly been clutch for the Giants, but also recognizes he'll have his hands full with this potent Cubs lineup tonight.
They got a good all-around team, you know, up and down the lineup, starters, bullpen, everything. So, you know, you just, like I said earlier, you got to be on your game and gonna have to make pitches, and you know, hopefully things will work out for us. You know, but we're gonna go out there and give it everything we got, and we can live with the result, knowing that we did that.
Well, half of the offense up to this point being produced by the pitchers, guys, so certainly the Cubs would like to turn it up, especially at the top of the lineup. 3 for 21 when you're looking at Fowler, Bryant, and Rizzo, and number 44 is a guy they'd certainly like to see get hot this evening, and of course if they want to continue this deep run into October. Here from San Francisco, where I've got a lot of orange behind me, guys. I'm hoping there's more blue there in the city, and that they're all back watching this post-game show or postseason show right now.
All right, Kelly, thanks very much. We'll be hearing from you later on tonight. All right, time for our Ameristar Hotel Casino starting lineups. Joe Madden, a few changes today. Top three remain the same. Fowler in center, Bryant at third, Rizzo at first. Jorge Soler will make his series debut, batting fourth and playing left field. Ben Zobrist hits fifth tonight. He'll be in right field with Jason Hayward out of the starting lineup. And it's Russell at short, Baez at second. Miguel Montero starts behind the plate. And finally in the 9 spot, Cubs pitcher Jake Arrieta. All right, time for our Cubs fan poll. To vote, visit csnchicago.com/vote. You do not need a special app, folks. Just go to the website. You can get interactive with Holly and with me. Today's question for you is this: which change to the lineup surprises you the most? Your choices are Soler playing left, Zobrist starting in right, Montero starting behind the plate, or Hayward starting the game on the bench. How would you vote on that?
I think for me, it probably is that David Ross isn't getting tonight's start, just because he's got the strongest numbers with Jake Arrieta. Now, I know Miguel Montero's done a nice job with Jake, but you also have to look at the matchup. And I'm thinking this is Madison Bumgarner, you know, Anthony Rizzo. Listen, we know he's playing. You know, Miggy Montero, he's a lefty, right? I mean, it's kind of like that. You know, it's not a favorable matchup for Miggy. And we know the job tonight is for him to do a fantastic job behind the plate with Jake Arrieta. Anything you can get your hands on, we'll take from him offensively. I just feel like you got a little bit more of a threat with David Ross, who also has, like I said, in the smaller sample size, better numbers with Jake Arrieta than the three. I mean, really, David's got the best numbers of all of them.
For me, looking at all of those choices, I'm more surprised that Ben Zobrist is in right field. I figured he might play left with Javi at second. I'm a little surprised that he is in right field, a position we have not seen much of him.
Well, it's very interesting when you compare the two outfield positions at AT&T Park, Cap. Here's the deal. In left field, you have a lot more ground to cover, but it is more traditional, meaning it is a big left center field gap. But you can work with your center fielder, you can work with Dexter Fowler and maybe cover that ground together, but know that you are covering more of a football field. You don't have to worry about angles and walls and out-of-town scoreboards. See, for Ben Zobrist in right field, it is smaller dimensions, although you've got a really, really deep center right field. Goes all the way out to 421. Remember that incredible catch that Jason Hayward made? It goes way out there. But he's also got a wall behind him that the ball can just ricochet any which way. It is a challenge. It is one of the most challenging positions in all of the National League, right field at this ballpark, because there's just so much going on out there.
Let's talk about Soler. He was outstanding last year against the Cardinals. I think he reached base 8 consecutive plate appearances. He gives you thunder. I wouldn't be shocked if he hit a home run tonight. He's got that type of ability. However, this is where defense is key, and he's not the best defender. How will he handle left field, in your opinion?
Well, I'm not overly concerned. I think he's going to be just fine. Again, like I said, the angle here is that Dexter Fowler can help. It's also, making sure that you don't create too much of a gap between your center fielder and your left fielder if you're protecting him from anything. I mean, again, I'm just speaking openly here. I don't know if there's anything that needs to be protected, but, your best outfielder is Dexter Fowler. But as I said, the more traditional left field, this is it, as opposed to right field. I mean, that's your alternative. Here's the other thing, Cappy. Soler's got to play. We got to get him in the lineup. If he's going to have any kind of impact this season, this is essentially an elimination game for the Giants. Let's say he's not in the lineup today. Cubs win. I mean, there's a lot of time off for Mr. Soler. He needs to be out there on the field. He needs to be involved, especially if you're banking on him being productive against lefties. So he's got to be in the lineup. I think the best place to play him is left field.
Let's talk about Jason Hayward, because, yes, he's going up against a tough lefty if he was in the lineup tonight. Madison Bumgarner's as good as they come, but he's also the best defensive right fielder in all of baseball.
Right, there's no taking that away from him, and you're going to see Jason Hayward. I'll go as far as saying this. I think it's a very interesting dynamic. I've said it to you many times, this, that was kind of leading into this. Jason is the type of player that when he starts, he will not leave the field. He shouldn't. He's so good defensively. But you've got some flexibility if you bring him off the bench. And this was the conversation when he was kind of struggling with the bat. The idea is you can pick the spot to get him in the ballgame. In fact, Cap, you could use him as a pinch runner, bring him in defensively. You can bring him in defensively straight up. In fact, you may even see that tonight. Don't be surprised by that. If, in fact, Jake Arrieta is throwing a fantastic ballgame tonight, the Cubs have a lead in the 5th inning, you may see Jason Hayward come into this ball game straight up for Soler, switching Zobrist over to left and putting Jason in right, just for straight up defensive purposes. It wouldn't even be a double switch because, as I said, Jake might still be in the game. He is going to play tonight. I can almost guarantee you that. I just think that he did him a favor by getting him a little bit more of a matchup. Soler's got to play. That's what it comes down to for me. I think this is less about Jason Hayward and more about getting Soler involved.
All right, and there's our poll results right there, and it looks like Montero is going to run away and hide with the winner. 41% going Miguel Montero catching, as opposed to either Contreras or David Ross. I thought it would be Ross.
Yeah, again, it's as simple as that. When you've got numerical evidence that it speaks, and we know how good defensively David Ross has been. Think back to the Leicester start at the beginning of the series. He set the tone defensively, threw a couple guys out. Remember, the last game that Jake Arrieta went up against the San Francisco Giants, they took advantage of him on the mound. In fact, Brandon Crawford stole third base blindly.
Without a throw.
Without a throw, right. So there's kind of that little element there. I thought David is our best at that. He's on top of his game. He should be in the lineup today. For me, I mean, again, I know you got your reasons, but Jake's ERA is best with Rossi, and he's right-handed.
All right. Kelly mentioned the troubles at the top of the order. Check this out. Bryant and Rizzo have gone a combined 2 for 14. No home runs and 1 RBI. Cubs pitchers, on the other hand, have gone 2 for 4 with a home run and 3 RBIs. Travis Wood supplying the long ball. Kyle Hendricks driving in a pair with a single in Game 2. 50% of the Cubs' runs in the first 2 games have come from your pitchers. Pretty interesting stuff. Take a look at the Giants lineup. Bruce Bochy will trot out with this lineup card. He's going with the same 8 position players who went in Game 2. Just a couple of changes in the order. Span, Belt, Posey, and Pence remain 1 through 4. Pagan hits 5th today. Crawford hits 6th. Panik 7th. Connor Gillespie hits 8th, and Madison Bumgarner, very good hitting pitcher, by the way, will bat from the 9 spot. Gillespie, the hero of the wild card game, 3 for 9 this postseason, 2 for 6 lifetime against Jake Arrieta. Connor Gillespie has not what I would call a lot of thunder, but he is able to get the bat on the ball.
Well, he can be a disruptive presence, certainly right down there at the bottom of the lineup, and that's the thing that really stands out. You look at this Giants team, they've struggled to score runs. He had the huge home run in the wild card game. You see the first 2 games of this series. That offense has not been rolling. I mean, really one big hit for them. I expect the same kind of approach that we've seen from them that we saw at Wrigley Field, where if they get a guy on early, especially like against John Lester, I think Lester and Arrieta are almost dealt with the same way by opposing teams. The idea is if we can get a guy or 2 on, we might consider a hit and run. We might put some guys in motion, try to take full advantage of that. I expect the Giants to be aggressive that way. They, again, don't hit for a tremendous amount of power. Jake does not give up a lot of home runs. They're going to have to be creative offensively to wait this out. They want to take full advantage of Madison Bumgarner being on the mound. But if these two guys go toe-to-toe for 7 or 8 innings, advantage us. We're right where we want to be because I think our bullpen's better.
All right, we're just getting started on Cubs Postseason Live, presented as always by the great people at the Fields Auto Group. When we come back, we'll get back to the pitching matchup as Madison Bumgarner looks to keep the Giants series alive. And can Jake Arrieta find the form he showed during his Cy Young campaign of 2015 and part of this season?
Cubs Pregame Live is presented by Fields Auto Group. Fields matters because you matter. See Fields first. FieldsAuto.com.
Is there such thing as a free lunch? Yes, as well as breakfast for our Fields customers at any of our locations with a cafe. Hello, I'm Dan Fields. There's also free loaners and free car washes. You see, a Fields customer not only gets our lowest price, they also get all of our amenities at no additional cost. There is one thing you don't receive: pressure. We simply treat people the way we want to be treated. It's a commitment to our customers we made long ago. Fields matters because you matter.
Hello? This is she.
Is that the doctor?
Okay, wow, really? It's 2? That's great news, thank you.
It's 2?
Yes, it's 2. It's 2 for 1 windows at Feldco.
Feldco is offering 2 windows for the price of 1, with no money down and no interest until 2018.
2 windows for the price of 1, and soon. Hurry. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
You know the feeling. The rush of every roll, every flip, sip, bite, note, and night. You know the feeling. Get it at Ameristar.
Look at it, lads. New York City. Just doesn't get any better than this.
Actually, it does. With Grubhub, you can get the best foods delivered anywhere.
Gluten-free pad thai here for Seamus.
I am Seamus.
Gluten-free?
Yeah. Can't even taste the difference. Oh, you gotta lock up that front tire.
Cubs and Giants getting ready for Game 3 of the NLDS coming up in just under an hour. Cubs looking to sweep the series and get ready for the NLCS, which begins on Saturday night. We are going to give you another chance to get interactive with our show. Get your mobile, laptop, or tablet ready. Head to csnchicago.com/vote. In just a few minutes, we'll bring you our live fan vote part 2. And welcome back to Cubs Postseason Live, presented by the great people at the Fields Auto Group, along with Todd Hollinsworth. I'm David Kaplan. Let's take a look at today's pitching matchup. Go by the numbers. Brought to you by Bona, the original Italian beef. As we told you at the top of the show, Jake Arrieta goes up against Madison Bumgarner. During the regular season, Arrieta was 18-8 with a 3.10 ERA. Bumgarner was 15-9 with a 2.74 ERD. Holly, Jake's numbers were good. His 2015 season made it look a little bit like a letdown year. You agree?
Well, I mean, the one thing that I continue to cling to is the 194 batting average against. I mean, that's outstanding. I mean, he held opposing hitters under 200. That's a great number. Now, the 76 walks, that's, talking about his season, that's what definitely stands out. It's a career high. Now, you think back to the years in Baltimore, some of the struggles that he had, that absolutely can stand out. It's nothing to freak out about, but it's been his story this year. There's been those moments during his starts where he seems to lose it just a little bit. And what I would describe it as is this. Sometimes he gets a little wild with his fastball command. You'll see him off the plate. He'll get himself in trouble with the walks. Other times, Cappy, which we've seen a little bit more of in September, which to me is just slightly more concerning, as he's tried to kind of counter that, he's ended up down the middle of the plate a little bit more, and he's given up a few home runs, and he's been hit a little harder lately. So, to me, this isn't about his starts breaking down. I think more or less it's just that one moment inside of a game where he seems to lose it just for a little bit. If he can regain it and kind of work around that, get back online, which we've seen him do many, many times.
Location.
He'll be fine tonight, right? I think it's just that one time, and I wished I could peg it. Sometimes, you think it's like the first runner that gets on, a guy gets into the stretch for the first time. You can say, okay, he gets into the stretch, he starts to lose it, he has to find that command again. But there's really nothing that isolates that moment where he seems to maybe get a little lost out there with his mechanics.
All right, Arrieta's season got off to a really good start. Before August 18th, he was 15-5 with an ERA of 2.75 and an opponent's batting average obscenely good of 187. However, in his last 7 starts, he was just 3-3 with a 433, and batters are hitting a better, but still not great, 221 against them. What have you seen that's different? I know the fastball command hasn't been there, but sometimes the slider has flattened out and kind of spun up there and said, hit me.
I don't know if I would overreact to what I'm seeing to the slider, because the fastball command is what actually sets up his slider, Cappy. The way it works is like this. Hitters generally go up there, they're thinking one thing, especially with Jake Arrieta, 94, 96, 97 miles an hour. All right, I got to get a good feel of where his fastball's at. I'm not worried about sliders now. Well, guess what? You have to make hitters respect your secondary pitches, and that's what it comes down to, Cap. If you don't respect the fact that he is throwing that slider for a strike, and a lot of times it's the wipeout slider. Remember, he doesn't just roll it up there and throw it out over the plate and guys take it all the time. He throws it in the zone and out of the zone, meaning it's a swing and miss pitch. But he doesn't get to use it as a swing and miss pitch if he's in hitters counts. Because if I'm up there 2-0, I'm sitting dead red. You throw me that slider right there, I'm not swinging at it because I'm not looking for it. So it has no value. So it starts to devalue itself because his fastball command has been sketchy at best. And that's what he needs to get back. If he's got that fastball command, he gets hitters on edge. They will expand their strike zone. They will chase that swing and miss slider all night long. They can't swing and miss at it if, again, they're in hitters counts.
All right, time for Built for Business, presented by Comcast Business. Tonight, we're looking at Bumgarner's career postseason numbers. And to say they're good is an understatement. 15 outings. Lefty is 8-3 with 194. He struck out 83 hitters and 91 in the third innings. And his whip, walks, and hits per innings pitched is a beaut, 0.86. Comcast Business, built for business. What kind of stuff does this guy rely on? Because, I'm used to watching Syndergaard sit at 98 to 99, blow you away. Scherzer pitch up in the upper 90s. Strasburg upper 90s. This guy sits 91 to 93. Yes, he's got filthy tilt, but you go, how is he so tough?
That's that arm angle. Look, it's a big frame. He's a big man.
Does he remind you of Chris Sale?
He does in body size. He's obviously much broader in the shoulders. He's a big, strong guy. This is why you know that he's going to go 100 pitches tonight. He can go 110, 115. You see that tough angle that hitters have told me that is what Madison Bumgarner is all about. He throws from a slot like Chris Sale does, very similarly, back across the plate, and that's where you find that effectiveness. He throws 4 pitches from that arm angle. He throws them effectively. He commands both sides of the plate. And one thing that everybody continues to rave about, especially during the postseason, is where he goes. You give him a lead, he puts a stranglehold on an offense. How he has been able to do that, like why he doesn't do that more during the regular season, I don't know. He
lost 9 ball games.
I don't know if it's pacing oneself. There's different things that go on, but this guy has been an absolute animal beast in the postseason. And when given a lead, he makes that lead stand up. He just does not relinquish it. During the regular season, he's a bit of a different pitcher. I've watched the Philadelphia Phillies multiple times get to Madison Bumgarner. They just fired their hitting coach because the numbers were down this year. You know what I'm saying? So he does make mistakes. He just hasn't made too many during the postseason.
All right, Bumgarner versus the Cubs this year, 2-0 with a 1.32 ERA. Really good numbers. He's gone 13 2/3. He struck out 16. The whip is even better at 0.73. And a K per 9 innings is 10.5. Pretty good for a starter.
Yeah, it is. I'm not going to complain, but here's the thing, Cap. I'll jump on, again, I got to get my dates right here. September 3rd at Wrigley, right? So 10 strikeouts, no walks against the Cubs, 103 pitches. But guess what, Cap? There's a little victory in there. As I said earlier, this is ultimately what you're trying to do is get Madison Bumgarner out of there. Now, listen, the Mets went at this totally wrong. They came out in the wild card game and thought they were going to jump Madison Bumgarner early in the ball game. He threw 21 pitches through the first 3 innings.
Yep, 7-7-7.
And what did that lead to? It led to 9-inning CG, baby. Well, listen, the Cubs, they lost that start that Madison Bumgarner made September 3rd, but they got him out of there, and they were in that game, and they had opportunities to win that game. I expect the exact same thing from them tonight. So, Cubs fans, you're watching at home, when you're watching Madison Bumgarner work, watch this with certainly the hope and optimism that your Cubs are going to come through and start to put a rally together against Madison Bumgarner. But keep an eye on that pitch count, because the sooner they can drive it up, the sooner they can get him out of there. You get into that bullpen, and there is absolutely some vulnerability in that San Francisco Giants bullpen. My goal is, honestly, that September 3rd start. Hopefully we get him for a couple runs in 6 innings and get him out of there. Give this Cubs lineup, 9 outs to play with out of that San Francisco Giants bullpen and a close ball game. They'll win.
All right, time for another Cubs fan poll. To vote, csnchicago.com/vote. No special app. Just visit that website and get interactive with Holly and with me. Today's question is, which starting pitcher will have a better game at the plate tonight? Arrieta or Bumgarner? Both these guys were almost hitting the video board in warm-ups on Friday and Saturday. Jake hit .262 with 2 doubles, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs this season. Bumgarner just hit .186, but had 3 home runs and an RBI double in his win over the Cubs back in May. These guys can swing the lumber.
There's no doubt about it. Well, you asked me who I'm taking? Yeah, I'm taking our guy, of course. I know he can swing the lumber. This is a straight-up battle, one against the other. I think Jake has got a much better chance of doing damage against Madison Bumgarner than Madison Bumgarner does of doing damage against Jake. Jake is flat-out filthy. I mean, I talked to too many guys, and they still give me the same answer. Toughest fastball to square up, Jake Arrieta.
Yeah, it's funny. That's the home run that he hit early in the season. First
was like 440.
So 447.
My bad.
They cranked that home run at Arizona. But Madison Bumgarner, when he started against Syndergaard the other night, it's the only time in postseason history that both starting pitchers had 3 home runs or more in a regular season. That guy has some pop in his ball.
Oh, he's pinch hit, much like we watched, Travis Wood. I mean, Madison Bumgarner does. Matter of fact, we watched Madison Bumgarner pinch hit in game 2. They like his bat. He knows how to swing it. But again, I think you can make pitches. You can expand the zone. Don't fall behind. That's what he does. You don't want to put yourself in a position where he knows a fastball's coming, because that's where he will pounce on you as a hitter. Talking about Madison Bumgarner. So again, if you can kind of vary your pitches and stay off the plate a little bit, he'll expand it a little bit. He wants to swing the bat. He's not up there to walk.
All right, looks like Jake is going to win. He's running away in the poll question. He gets 80% of the vote. We've also got some late news from the Giants clubhouse. Angel Pagano has just been scratched from the game with back spasms. Gregor Blanco will now play left field and bat 8th. Connor Gillespie will now hit 5th. That takes a really gritty, sandpapery, tough guy out of their lineup.
It's their hottest hitter against Jake Arrieta. He's got the best numbers, 6 for 12, plain and simple. Yeah, I mean, that's a major impact. You look at what this lineup is for the Giants outside of Posey and Pence, and you just kind of you have a collection of guys who are more role players than anything else. So, yeah, again, big news and certainly an advantage for the Cubs.
No question about it. We've got to take another time out. A Cubs postseason live brought to you by the Fields Auto Group. We'll head back out to San Francisco for the latest on tonight's game. And if Jake Arrieta gets in any trouble, the Cubs bullpen has been lights out against the Giants all year long.
A win ball game tonight, or showcase event.
Experience the thrill of the Lexus Performance line. Because the ultimate expression of power is control. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Did you know your business doesn't have to suffer from slow internet? Comcast Business now offers blazing fast internet speeds up to 250 megabits per second, over 6 times faster than DSL. Get internet for as low as $59.95 a month. Call today. Comcast Business, built for business. Did you know sharing Wi-Fi with your customers could leave your business exposed? Only Comcast Business offers Wi-Fi Pro, 2 separate networks, one that's private for you and one that's public for your customers. Upgrade to Wi-Fi Pro for only $19.95 a month. Call today. Comcast Business, built for business.
Did you just see that?
That was awesome.
We have to try it.
Okay. Okay, mine's not working.
Maybe you have to bump it.
Oh, yeah, do the bump it thing.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
You can take money out using the BMO Harris app.
You want to buy a hairless cat? There's a pet store down the street.
Cool.
I think she said BMO Harris app.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
When your phone is your debit card, that's the BMO effect. BMO Harris Bank, we're here to help.
This one has amazing gas mileage, but I think this one is more my style. But then again, maybe this one is more my style. What to do?
Now, you know, at Continental Motors, there's a 3-day exchange policy on all used cars.
Wow, 3 days, really?
Yeah.
124 hours.
No, 3 days is 72 hours.
Well, not if you're using the metric system.
No, still the same.
Even if you carry the...
72 hours.
So then 3 days.
Grab your phone and come check out our unbeatable online selection at ContinentalMotors.com.
All right, welcome back here on our Cubs postseason live. Jake Arrieta in the state of California is money. He has been outstanding ever since he joined the Chicago Cubs. Win 6-0, ERA .20, innings 45, hits just 15. But check out that obscene strikeout to walk ratio, 44-9, and a whip that's just unbelievable, 0.533. We go back to San Francisco. We bring in USA Today's great writer, Bob Nightingale. Bob, I picked this series as a sweep before it started because I looked at the strength of the Cubs lineup versus the strength of the Giants lineup. But that gets neutralized tonight because there is an elite arm going for the Giants and an elite arm going for the Cubs. Who do you give the advantage to in tonight's ball game?
I mean, you got to give a slight advantage to Bumgarner just because 23 straight scoreless innings. You know, he's putting up numbers that no starter has ever done in postseason. That being said, at some point, this guy's going to have a hiccup. And I think Jake Arrieta is going to kind of take it to heart, like, wait a minute now, nobody's talking about me. I won the Cy Young Award last year. I think it should be a great game and almost a coin flip.
Yeah, I look at Jake Arrieta as taking the hill tonight, saying, okay, I get it. Lester and Hendricks had a better year than I did. They got to start games 1 and 2, respectively. But I've got a chip on my shoulder because everyone has kind of conceded this game. All the media I talked to said, well, there's no way they're beating Bumgarner. I think Jake Arrieta goes out and pitches a whale of a ball game tonight. Do you think he takes the hill a little bit ticked off?
I do. You guys know Jake. I know Jake. I really believe that. That is like, hey, there's another pitcher out here. And I was a guy dominant last year. I even had a better year right there with Bumgarner. So I think the Cubs win tonight because I agree. I think Arrieta pitches a great game.
What is the key to beating Madison Bumgarner? Because as I was talking with Todd earlier, you know, you watch Syndergaard sit at 97 to 99, or you watch Scherzer blow people away, or Strasburg. Some of these guys are so tough because of the velocity. This guy sits 91 to 93 with really good movement on his breaking ball. But what makes him so special?
I mean, he's such a tough guy, you know, a country guy from Carolina, and nothing phases him. He's on the mound believing he's going to dominate the opposing lineups. And his stuff is very, very good. Doesn't blow you with the fastball, just with his whole makeup and demeanor. I think the way to beat him is just, you know, get a lot of pitches, you know, foul a bunch of balls off. And he's got a hot temper. If you get under his skin, though, he can have a little bit of a semi-meltdown, as he showed recently with Yasiel Puig of the Dodgers.
Yeah, he also got into it with the Cubs in spring training when he accused a couple of the Cubs players in spring training of stealing signs. So we'll see if that gets amped up at all tonight. Cubs also have a bit of a different lineup. Ben Zobrist is now in right. Jorge Soler gets his first start of the series. He's in left. And Miguel Montero is going to start behind the plate. What's your take on the lineup changes?
Yeah, that was interesting. I thought we'd see Wilson Contreras in the lineup, maybe in the outfield. But I can see where you want, you know, better defense. And hey, why not try something different? Jason Hayward has been struggling, had a tough year. We'll see him in the game. He'll probably come in the game sometime around the 6th inning or so. And you know, they floated by him yesterday. So that's the biggest surprise, is just that, you know, the big free agent Jason Hayward is sitting on the bench.
All right, last one. After the Wednesday night wildcard game that the Giants won on the home run by Connor Gillespie and the great outing by Madison Bumgarner, I was watching some of the CSN Bay Area coverage. Tim Flannery and I think it's Greg Papa. Some of those guys said, well, the Cubs better be scared of the Giants. And I chuckled because the Cubs don't get scared of anyone. What are people out there now saying about the Cubs and about this series?
Well, people out here still have a lot of belief in the Giants. Remember now, the last 9 elimination games that Giants have played in, that they've won 11 straight postseason series. So they've been here before. They were down 2-0 to the Reds a few years ago when Dusty Baker was managed that team, came back and won. Down 3-1 to the St. Louis Cardinals in 2012 and came back and won. So they've been here before. I still go back to Game 1. I think that game was the game that decides the series. I think if the Giants had won that game, we might be looking at a different story right now.
Bob, appreciate the knowledge. Look forward to seeing you hopefully back in Chicago at the NLCS Game 1 on Saturday.
Look forward to it.
Thanks a lot. There he is, Bob Nightingale from USA Today. Now let's go over to our touchscreen where we find my partner, Todd Hollingsworth.
Well, thank you, Cappy. Yes, we're going to put some evidence, some video evidence to back up what we've been telling you all pregame show long. Listen, Madison Bumgarner can be had. He is an elite pitcher. He's had tremendous amounts of success in the postseason, but there are a few spots inside this strike zone, and we're going to show you where you can get Madison Bumgarner. So let's put this video in motion right here. We got Daniel Murphy up of the Washington Nationals. Now, Bumgarner's batting average against by the zones. You see here, this does not change lefty to righty. This is how he pitches to the plate. So think along with me here. Left-handed hitters, Anthony Rizzo, Miggy Montero, both in there tonight. They want to be looking middle in. You see down there, low in the zone, 286 at the bottom of the strike zone, 321 about the thighs on the inner third of the plate. There can be mistakes there, as witnessed by those batting averages. You want to see them that way, that's where the lefties should be looking. For the righties, because these batting averages don't turn over, they're the same for the right-handed batters. I'm going to show you in a second, but you see the 321 and the 286. But the one thing that I do want to show you is what he's trying to effectively do to a lefty, and you see it right there, 245, 228, 222, where he has his strongest numbers getting the ball away from the left-handed hitter. So we're going to put this in motion here. Now, Daniel Murphy's a tremendous hitter. He's had a great season. He gets the ball away. We watched Daniel Murphy expand the strike zone as the ball right there. He's going to ultimately end up coming away frustrated by this one as Bumgarner is able to get the ball away and strike him out. Here's another view of it just up close as he works it away. So left-handed hitters probably looking a little bit more in, trying to lay off that pitch away or defend it, meaning foul it off. So let's go to clip number 2. We're going to give you a right-handed hitter. Maikel Franco, the Philadelphia Phillies, had a nice season for him, but offensively the Phillies did not have a very good year. In fact, I believe they've already fired their hitting coach. They had Madison Bumgarner's number this year. They put together great at-bat after great at-bat. Here's one of them. Let's put it in play to start it out. As we know, we gave you those numbers again. See that 321 and that 286, still the go zone for the right-handed hitter. So the righties tonight, the righties in the Cubs lineup need to be looking middle away. Idea is fight the balls off. As we said, I'll even circle it for you one more time. Right here. So inside for right-handed hitters, Madison Bumgarner finds a tremendous amount of success. You don't want to look in there. He's going to do damage. He's going to break your bat. He's going to throw that cutter hard slider in on your hands. You want to be looking outer third. 263 down the middle of the plate, 286 low in the zone, but 321 away. That's where you'll find that result. And the other thing I'll point out for you is you see his turn right there. See how he's hiding the baseball already? That is a tough arm angle for a right-handed hitter. That's why you want to be looking away. So let's put this in motion. We're going to watch what turns out to be, there you see, go zone. We just showed you that. That's out over the plate. Oh, yes, Madison Bumgarner does make mistakes. We'll follow this up one more time. Click the go button. There you go. Right-handed hitter jumping all over. As Cappy said, he only throws 91. You're right, he does. But he hides the ball particularly well. When he stays out of those go zones, he gets a tremendous amount of success. But when he makes a mistake, boom, you will see long home runs, and you'll see the ball hit hard against him in this ball game if he makes mistakes there, and the Cubs use this approach.
All right, thank you very much, Holly. Plenty more coming your way on Cubs Postseason Live, presented by the Fields Auto Group. When we come back, Holly and I will break down the tale of the tape between these two clubs.
This Cubs Injury Report is brought to you by ATI Physical Therapy, taking physical therapy to a higher level. Ask your doctor about ATI Physical Therapy. Get there.
If you call Chicago home, you know it's not the subway. It's the L. There's only one tallest building. Real pizza's baked in a dish, and it better be deep. And there's only one way true Chicagoans pay. Wintrust. Bring it home, Chicago.
When you visit Canals BMW, your toughest decision is which BMW will you drive home? A sporty BMW convertible? BMW sedan? BMW coupe? Or one of these BMW high-performance luxury models? And of course, everybody can get into one of these beauties. Canals BMW. Outstanding selection, competitive pricing, always a great decision.
Your living room TV. If only you could bring it with you anywhere you went. It's got everything. Your live channels, instant access to the best entertainment, plus your recorded shows. The only problem is, it's stuck in your living room. Well, not anymore. Finally, you have the power to make the world your living room. Now the live channels you love and watch at home are with you anywhere. Download the new free DirecTV app. It's your TV. Take it with you.
Hey, Grandma, let's go for a bike ride.
Oh, sweetie, I'd love to, but...
Oh, no. What is it, Grandma?
Well, it's my knees. I'm having a hard time just getting up out of this chair.
Does this sound familiar? Relief is on the way. If you're on Medicare, you may qualify for a pain-relieving knee brace at little or no cost. Most insurance is accepted, so call the Brace Hotline to see if you qualify. If so, shipping is free, and we'll even handle the paperwork. Call the Brace Hotline anytime, day or night. Our friendly staff is always there to help. We also have braces for shoulder, wrist, elbow, ankle, and back pain to help you get back to doing the things you love.
Hey, wait up, Grandma. I didn't know you could go that fast.
I didn't either. This knee brace rocks.
Call the Brace Hotline now for your pain-relieving knee brace. Operators are standing by. Call 800-621-3708. That's 800-621-3708. Again, 800-621-3708. Call now.
Preservatives starting today. You can get Papa John's new pan pizza. 3 toppings, just $10. What a deal. Order online, papajohns.com, and also order their brand new dessert cinnamon pull parts, just $6 as well. All right, welcome back here on our Cubs postseason live. He's Todd Hollingsworth. I'm David Kaplan. Time for Tale of the Tape, and we're going to let you tell us who's got advantages in all the key categories. So take a look here, Holly. Take us through this.
I like this. Okay, well, we got the Cubs and the Giants, and this is Tale of the Tape. Now, you got to remember this is in part some game situation, which matters here. The Cubs are leading this series 2-0. So, listen, let's be honest. I think if we were to talk this game more of a national perspective, most people believe that Madison Bumgarner is the greatest pitcher in the postseason of all time. Personally, I would go both ways right there, but I'm going to give the advantage, since I think it makes it more interesting, to the Giants and Madison Bumgarner right off the top. Now, here's where I feel like we're going to dominate all the way through. And as I said, I'm more inclined to put that arrow over there because I like Jake in this one. The hitting is definitely going to go the Cubs' way. They've got a lineup. We've already talked about Angel Pagan coming out of there. Angel Pagan, 6 for 12 against Jake Arrieta in his career, is their best hitter. Buster Posey struggled. Hunter Pence has had his issues. You're asking for somewhat of a, I'll use the word miracle here. When you look at the numbers against Jake Arrieta, you take Pagan out of there, it's only getting more lopsided towards us. We've got a good lineup. We've got guys who've got some history and some success against Madison Bumgarner. I like our chances. I'll take us fielding. Fielding is next. I'm actually going to go both ways on this one. I believe I'm allowed to do this, right? Yeah. Good thing, because I like our defense, and certainly when you look at both of these teams, they're 2 of the best defensive teams in all of baseball. Now, I know it's their home field, but I can't lose the Addison Russell factor, and I think defensively in the outfield, they might be a little bit better than us tonight. But again, it's one of those things where I'm going to put a lot on Dexter Fowler. I know that they're asking a lot of Dexter Fowler because he's got Soler to his right, he's got Zobrist to his left. He's going to really have to be on his game defensively. But I'm going to put it down the middle because I like our infield defense just a little bit better. Now, bullpen advantage clearly goes our way, no doubt about it. We know that Casilla pitched in the game 2 in the 5th and 6th inning. What does that tell you? He's not the closer any longer. Sergio Romo is. Now, he did not pitch, but I like what we got going on. We got a Aroldis Chapman. We backed it all the way down. Not only do we get a home run from our bullpen, we got some great pitching as well. And a few guys got involved in game 2, which I think is going to be big in this one. So I look at it that way. And as I said, we did this board with the idea that the Cubs are up 2-0 against the Giants. Pressure? What pressure? There's no pressure. The pressure's on the Giants. Tail of the tape goes to the Cubs.
All right. We have got to take another break on Cubs Postseason Live, presented by the Fields Auto Group. When we come back, we'll look at the Cubs bullpen. We also have highlights of the other NL playoff series as the Nationals and Dodgers move out to Chavez Ravine, Holly's old home.
Combining home and auto can save you big. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
Some
things are simply impossible to ignore. The strikingly designed Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid. The SUV that dares to go beyond utility. This is the pursuit of perfection.
This rusty mess isn't going anywhere. Don't trust it to just any cleaner. Trust CLR. CLR makes quick work of the toughest jobs, dissolving crusty white buildup so your shower runs like new. CLR cuts through hard water buildup and helps keep your washer running clean. CLR also earned the EPA's Safer Choice seal, so it's safer for your family. Trust the power of the CLR family and trust your clean to CLR. CLR is available at these fine retailers.
When you're on hold, your business is on hold. That's why Comcast Business doesn't leave you there. When you call, a small business expert will answer you in about 30 seconds. No annoying hold music. Just a real person, real fast, whenever you need them. So your business can get back to business. Sounds like my ride's ready.
Don't get stuck on hold. Reach an expert fast. Comcast Business. Built for business.
Hello?
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Are you serious? Not khakis. What are you wearing?
For fastballs, call me. For saving time and money, call State Farm.
You sound hideous.
All right, Chris Bryant is 2 for 7 so far in the NLDS, and he seems like playing with Jake Arrieta is on the bump. In the 30 games Bryant has played when Arrieta gets a start, third baseman is hitting .413 with 11 bombs, 37 RBIs, and a slugging percentage obscenely high of .777. All right, Game 3, Nationals and Dodgers from Chavez Ravine. Top 3 Nats up 1. Anthony Rendon drives one deep to left off Kenta Maeda. That finds the seats. 2-run jack, and it is suddenly 4-1 Washington. Bottom 5, LA cuts in the lead. Carlos Ruiz came over from Philly late in the season, crushes one to left, way up and out. Pinch hit homer for Ruiz. He brings his team in a run. But in the ninth, the Nationals put this one on ice. Ryan Zimmerman deep to right. Josh Reddick back at the track, but it is off the wall. Daniel Murphy scores. Bryce Harper waved around, and he is going to beat the tag at the plate. Nationals add on and win 8-3, and they lead the series 2-1. Can close it out tomorrow. Your thought on that series, because Max Scherzer loses in Game 1, and then the Nats have come back and won the next 2 ball games.
Well, I think Max Scherzer now is put in a position where he is going to pitch Game 5. He's going to get a little bit more of regular rest, where I think Clayton Kershaw is thrust into a position, a win or go home game. I think you're going to see him on short rest. Somewhat predictable, this ball game. Maeda was going. I mean, the thing that's so weird about this game, the Cubs have been privileged to have the prime time slot against the Giants, which is great to be in. That's good that they took care of business here. Ask the Dodgers about it. They played yesterday evening and started at 1 o'clock West Coast time today. There were some tired ball players out there. They are none too happy about losing to the Nats. But Gio started lefty against them, and boy, if we run into the Dodgers, that will be the conversation. They started Gio. He was able to get them through 4 1/3. You saw that home run he gave up to Ruiz, but that was it. That's all they got.
All right, back to the Northsiders, including the regular season. Cubs bullpen has yet to allow a run to the Giants in 32 1/3 innings of work this season, surrendering just 12 hits, 5 walks, fanning 33. And the main guy in Joe Maddon's bullpen, Aroldis Chapman, is showing why the Cubs brought him in from the Yankees before the trade deadline in that blockbuster deal. Let's talk about Aroldis, because he ended the ball game the other night at 103 miles an hour. But man, oh man, this guy throws gas, and he seems to thrive in this situation.
Well, I thought it was fantastic that the first situation that we got him, these 2 pressure-packed situations were at home. The crowd behind him certainly settled in. Not that I didn't think he wasn't going to settle in. Great to see he's on his game, and I think it's so important for him to be that. We talk about it all the time at MLB Network. I mean, it is such a big thing when your closer is locked down. You've got Chapman. It sets up the rest of your bullpen rotation, if you will, and it allows you to match up lefties and righties. Sometimes you can ask a little bit more of your 8th inning guy, maybe even a little less, knowing that you've got a legit closer and a guy that you're going to. Lefties, righties is not a matchup thing. Ask Bruce Bochy about this right now. I mean, he's going through it and has gone through it here in the second half with Sergio Romo. Sergio Romo was the 8th inning guy. Now he's the 9th inning guy. Casillas the 7th inning guy, and it's matchups all the way through. Bruce Bochy has been making a path out to the mound all throughout September, and so far we already saw what he did the other night when he used 5 more relievers after taking Jeff Samardzija out. So it complicates things. The acquisition of Chapman has been absolutely huge in establishing what you wanted at the end of the game and allowing everybody to fall into their spots.
Yeah, it's interesting. You look at the Cubs pen and how good they have been. Giants had 5 games in just September where they had the lead entering the 9th and lost the ball game. Unheard of. And you mentioned Chapman. Look, the Cubs paid a steep price. They gave up 4 players, including their top prospect. But when you see at this time of the year Chapman on the hill, no one complains.
Well, there's a level of confidence that you get at 102 plus that you don't get with anybody else in the game. And let me be honest when I say this, you know, whether he rolls through the postseason and saves every opportunity, it may not be the case. I don't think the level of confidence changes. Let's say hypothetically there's a bad one in there somewhere. I don't think we lose our hope in what Aroldis Chapman is. We just say it was a bad night or a bad game, and you move on to the next one. He'll go back out there and throw 102 the next time.
All right, we told you earlier in the show about the Cubs starting lineup with Jorge Soler starting in left, Ben Zobrist in right field in place of Jason Hayward, and Miguel Montero behind the plate. Joe Maddon said he's been thinking about this for a couple of days.
I actually started a couple of days ago just thinking it all the way through, knowing that Bumgarner was going to be pitching today and it would be Jake also. That part was probably easier. I felt really good about Miggy catching Jake, so that was part of it. And then after that, tried to balance it out by not playing Jason. Who do you play in the outfield? It could have been Contreras also. That's where I was hung up between George and Wilson for a variety of different reasons. Chose George. I think it's the right. I mean, for me right now, it's the right way to do it. George, among all of our guys, has as much power as anybody. I think a home run could be a very pertinent play tonight. It's difficult to string base hits together against Bumgarner, so we chose to go that way. And then, of course, if we're fortunate to grab a lead, then we could do things differently at the latter part of the game for defense. So it was that, and then on top of that, where do you play him? I mean, this ballpark provides different looks with right field being as it is compared to left field, more conventional. And so it just chose George and left, Zoe and right, and rock and roll, and then try to make good decisions game in progress.
Interesting how he takes out his iPad Pro and his coffee every morning, gets his Apple Pencil out, and he sits down and he comes up with lineups, goes, nah, I don't like that, I'll erase that and try this. And this is what he came up with, and I like it.
Well, you know, you roll a lot of times, and I've heard this for years, managers like to put their thoughts on paper. Well, obviously on iPads now. It makes more sense. But the ability to kind of put your thoughts down, and that's just it. I mean, Joe Maddon absolutely comes across as that way. I've known he's probably done this for years, and it makes sense because what you do is you talk with yourself through your situations and through your lineups. Very, very common. The one thing that I learned just a few days ago, that they actually, what I believe, text message out the lineup so that the players know.
Every player gets a text message from one of the coaches that says, here's the lineup, so you're all aware.
Crazy, right. I did not know that. That's advanced. Boy, oh boy, I think how times have changed. But, yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all that Joe would do that. And certainly, you know, you've got to weigh certain things. You've got to weigh getting guys in the ballgame. Now, listen, Montero hasn't been given a start yet, right? So that's probably why he's in there. I can give you all the evidence that says David Ross maybe should be catching, but I would say the same thing for Soler. You've got to get guys involved. That is so important, and I think it's one of the most difficult things for managers to do in the postseason.
Keep guys sharp.
Keep guys sharp, because it's always about the win, and you don't know how quickly or how long it's going to take you to get the right number of wins.
All right, we got to take a final timeout of Cubs Postseason Live presented by the Fields Auto Group. We come back. Holly's keys to the game. We'll pick our key performers and get you set. Cubs and Giants, Game 3 of the NLDS, coming up in just a couple minutes from San Francisco.
I'm Dan Fields of the Fields Auto Group. We've prepared a Joe Maddon Signature Edition vehicle. It will be raffled off at the end of the season, with the proceeds going to many of Joe's favorite charities.
But not before I have the pleasure of driving it to and from the ballpark. Thank you, Dan, and everyone at Fields Auto Group for this special vehicle and for making this all possible.
For official raffle rules and complete details on how you can win this Joe Maddon Signature vehicle, go to fieldsauto.com.
It is an honor for Fields Auto Group to help good causes like Cubs Charities and Misericordia.
Fields matters because you matter.
Rising from the Midwestern Plains, south of Chicago, is the award-winning Riverside Healthcare. Compassionate hands, focused on healing, helping you along life's journey. Professionals who offer hope and innovation. Experts using the latest technology to solve problems and welcome new beginnings. Seeing things clearly is the first step. Seeing that you're well is what we hold dear. Riverside Healthcare, putting well within reach.
Hello? This is she.
Is that the doctor?
Okay, wow, really? It's two? That's great news, thank you.
It's two?
Yes, it's two. It's 2 for 1 windows at Feldco.
Feldco is offering 2 windows for the price of 1, with no money down and no interest until 2018.
2 windows for the price of 1 ends soon. Hurry. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
Pat Hughes reporting from Wrigleyville Sports, where the excitement is building. Devin and Colin are choosing caps from the enormous wall of hats. Check out that selection. Chris and Tony are sporting new home jerseys with the blue pinstripes, blue hats, and sleeves. Get these ball players some trousers. Katrina is eyeing a new sweatshirt. She wants to be ready for the postseason. Across the street from Wrigley Field, Wrigleyville Sports is your one-stop shop for everything Cubs. Open 7 days a week or anytime at WrigleyvilleSports.com.
All right, entering tonight's game, the Giants have won their last 9 games when facing elimination in the postseason. Madison Bumgarner has been on the mound 3 times. Last time they lost an elimination game, the 0-3 NLDS against the Marlins, a game that my partner watched from the Florida bench.
Oh, how dare you? I don't know if I played in that game. You're right. I don't know. I don't think I did get in there.
Nelly looked up the box score. You didn't get it.
Right. Yeah, it's a good call.
Welcome back.
I witnessed it. You did. And I certainly celebrated.
Welcome back to Cubs Postseason Live, presented by the Fields Auto Group. Time for our Fields Auto Group keys to the game. Todd.
Okay, listen, we talked about this. We just kind of put it in the keys here to talk about it one more time. That one moment, Jake Arrieta, he's got when it comes on him, whether it's the second, third, or fourth, it has shown itself here in the second half and lately. He's just got to find a way to gather himself. And I think Miggy Montero might be the key to that. And we know that in some ways it has been a little bit mechanical when he's made those mistakes, but when it does happen, it's either the walks or the ball starts to find the middle of the plate more than it traditionally does. So when you start to see that, let's hope Jake can get himself locked back in, because it just, he's been good in these starts. It's not like he's getting knocked around the yard. He just has that moment that he's got to find a way to control just a little bit better. Now, moving on, key number 2, I'm going to explain this to you. We talked about it on the board, middle away, and that pitch count. It's important, right? We talked about how we can get to Madison Bumgarner, how Cubs hitters, especially the righties, are looking. They're looking middle away and looking to do damage maybe up the middle and the other way. But I also I'm hoping that the pitch count will be driven up tonight, which means fight off those pitches on the inside. And again, if it means, you see a strikeout and it's an 8-pitch at bat, don't get mad. Say, you know what, that was a productive out. We're working towards getting Madison Bumgarner out of there. Because, listen, let's be honest, this guy is really, really good. You're looking to go toe-to-toe with him, and you're hoping that you can get this game late and give yourself an opportunity to do something maybe against that Giants bullpen. I really do expect that to happen, which leads us to key number 3, Cappy, late inning hero. Who's it going to be tonight? Could be somebody off the bench, might be somebody in the bullpen, but I'm looking for somebody to come through with a big hit in that 8th or 9th inning. I'm going to call it the game winner, the series winner, because the Cubs will end up with that sweep tonight if we can get that late inning hero.
All right, key performers, you get to go first.
All right, I'm going to ride the hot hand. I'm going Javi Baez.
Well, I don't blame you. I am going to go with Ben Zobrist, who has really good career numbers against Bumgarner. Hey, thank you for watching Cubs Postseason Live, presented by the Fields Auto Group. Don't forget, as soon as the game goes final, you switch right back here to Comcast Sportsnet. All the highlights, locker room reaction, and hopefully a champagne celebration. We'll see you after the ball game.